Welcome to Aether and Ink. Every file has a heartbeat, and every shadow tells a story. Come inside. We've kept the records exactly as they were found, waiting for someone like you to hear about them. Let us begin above ground, in the city of rain and concrete, where man chases truths he can touch.
The bloody rain never stops in this city. Neither do the lies. My name is Silas Thorne, private investigator, former cop, current cynic. I've spent 30 years wading through the filth of human nature, chasing digital ghosts and analog sins. The truth? It's never clean, it's never simple, and it sure as hell never sets you free. The rain in this city doesn't wash anything clean. It just turns the filth into a slurry and hides the cracks in the pavement. I'm sitting here in my office, staring at a blinking cursor on a machine that's supposed to make my job easier. They call it a workstation. To me, it's just a glowing plastic box full of digital ghosts. I miss the typewriter. A typewriter had a soul. You hit the key, a hammer struck a ribbon, and a physical mark was made. It was permanent. This, you hit delete and sometimes the truth just vanishes into a vacuum. But some things don't want to stay deleted. Today, I need to look at a case file, a hard copy. The only way I trust, obviously. It's a missing persons report. A kid named Vance. He's 22 years old. They call him a tech enthusiast, which I think is actually just new gen speak for someone who spends too much time in rooms without windows. He disappeared 3 nights ago from an apartment block 3 blocks over. The door was locked from the inside. The windows were bolted. The only thing missing from the room was the kid himself, as well as his computer. I'm standing in front of Vance's building. It's one of those places that looks like it's being held together by the grime alone. I've seen 100 of them. Same peeling paint, same smell of boiled cabbage and desperation. Luckily, the supervisor let me in. He didn't ask any questions once he saw the $20 bill. Money still talks louder than any software update. I head up to the 4th floor. Room 4B. The yellow police tape is still there, torn and fluttering in the draft like a warning flag. I duck underneath it. The apartment seems small. It's cluttered with cables. The wires snake across the floor like black vines, feeding into towers of the humming hardware. It's a graveyard of silicon. I find a notebook under a pile of tech magazines. It's a physical ledger. My kind of evidence. I flipped through it. Vance wasn't just building computers. He was obsessed with something he called the deep signal. He wrote a lot about a frequency he'd found buried under the dial-up tones. Something ancient. He thought he was being a pioneer. I think it was just a fly looking for a spider. The last entry is just one sentence. It's not coming through the wires. It's using them as a bridge. The trail led me here. Don't ask me how. Call it a gut feeling. Or call it 30 years of knowing where things go when they actually want to be forgotten. There's an old warehouse at the end of Pier 19. It's supposed to be empty. Condemned in the 80s. I try and kick the side door open. It seems like the warehouse is empty. Or so I tell myself now. I remember, or I think I remember, a very deep hum, a flickering blue light, something hanging from the rafters that looked like Leo Vance. But the wires were inside him. I remember his mouth not moving, but his voice echoing in my skull, talking about some library and signal. Let's be honest, I've been awake for 36 hours. I'd finished the flask of cheap bourbon before I even hit the docks. The brain does funny things when it's starved of sleep and drowned in rot guts. I must have tripped. I must have hallucinated the whole thing. The glowing eyes, the pulsing cables. It was a spike in the power grid, a trick of the fog. And a man who's been on the job too long. When I went back the next day, there was nothing. No kid, no computer. Just a hole in the floorboards from dry rot. I'm back at my desk. I've burned the notebook. The ash is sitting in my tray. People ask me why I don't use a cell phone. Why I still carry a paper map and a brass key. They obviously must think that I'm a dinosaur. Maybe I am, but dinosaurs knew when a predator was in tall grass. Whatever happened at that warehouse, it's a closed file now. Case unresolved. The kid's probably in Mexico or at the bottom of a harbor. That rest, the blue lights, the whispering, that's just the city playing tricks on a very tired old man. I think I'm going to pour another drink, then close my eyes and forget I ever heard the word library.
This.
And so, the cipher was born.